So you must have heard about PM CARES Fund, right? Recently, you must have seen the news where everybody is questioning the underutilization of those funds. What happened? What is this fund? Why is it underutilized? Let's find out. Welcome back to the latest update series of Drishti IAS. This is Divya Kawatra, and today we are going to talk about PM CARES Fund, the utilization, the structure, and what is happening here. Okay, stay tuned till the end to know all about it. And first of all, let's understand what is the current situation here. The audited financial statement of Prime Minister's Citizen Assistance Fund, you know this is Citizen Assistance Fund, Relief in Emergency Situation, that is PM CARES Fund, was released together on Tuesday for financial year 2023-24 and 24-25. For 2 continuous years, they have not even given a report as to what kind of utilization is happening from here, right? So after all this time, the 2-year report has been altogether released after a delay of 2 years that has shown that while donations have dropped, 2 observations have come forward after this. Number 1, donations have dropped significantly. No more donations are being made. There are some donations, but very less, far less, okay, that are being made to PM CARES Fund. And the second thing is the utilization. It is underutilized, that it was for citizens, but it has not been actually invested on citizens. Why? Janta wants to know, right? So we are asking a question that why has it been underutilized? Why hasn't it been spent? Like there was some flooding, wasn't there? There were so many things happening where this could have been helpful. Why wasn't this used? Why wasn't this taken out? And why was there no report for 2 years for utilization? And that obviously raises several questions, doesn't it? Right. So let's find out more about it. First of all, there was a sharp drop in voluntary donations. Let's understand that, how they have dropped. The domestic contributions have dropped. Voluntary domestic donations have fell by 30% to approximately rupees 479 crore in financial year 24-25. That has come down from 681 crore. That is quite a fall down. Quite a fall down, right? Foreign contributions are there. Foreign donations have dropped by 18%, 92.8 lakh in financial year, down from 1.13 crore in prior year. So foreign contributions are also dropping. An historical trend, if we see, donations peaked during the height of COVID-19 pandemic, where everybody kept sending money so that COVID relief issues can be taken over. So there the fund gathered was 7184 crore in domestic donations and 495 crore in foreign contributions, but they have also steadily declined since, right? So the funds are dropping. Voluntary donations are dropping, and the utilization is also, whatever accumulation has been done, there's a lot of unspent funds accruing interest. That's all. The overall balance in the PM CARE Fund grew to 8,452 crore as of March 31st, 2025. Not 65. Please pay attention to the data. Up from 7173 crore of the previous year. Rather than being spent, the vast majority is just generating interest. It has been kept as a fixed deposit that is generating interest. 7846 crore is parked in fixed deposit. Only 605 crore is sitting in saving banks accounts, and nothing is being done of that as well. There's an abysmal utilization rate. How so? Total expenditure payment made from PM CARE Fund during entire financial year 2024-25, that is the fiscal year, amounted to just 87 lakh rupees. 87 lakh rupees. People spend that much to build a house. Today, a good house gets spent this much. What happened? How much did we spend? 87 lakh rupees. 87 lakh rupees. That's all was spent entirely on the PM CARES for Children scheme. That also on one scheme solely, and was not even distributed across different areas, as is the motive of this fund, right? And then out of the total available pool, the fund spent approximately 0.1%. This is just 0.1%. That's all that we have spent of its resources over the year, leaving large balances sitting idle. Why are you collecting them if you don't want to do anything of it, right? They're saying that public charitable purposes for emergency relief have been there consistently and they've not spent it there. That is underutilization. So 2 problems. Voluntary donations are dropping down. And second problem is unspent funds. Abysmal spending. That is 0.1% of the funds that are there, right? While the major motive, if we talk about the PM CARES Fund, the major motive here is actually that number one, it is a public charitable trust registered under Registration Act 1908, formed on March 27, 2020. PM is the ex officio chairman. Ministers of Defense, Home Affairs and Finance serve as ex officio trustees also. They are the trustees of the fund. Okay. So everybody becomes viable here. Like, why are you not spending it? Everybody can be questioned. Public authority versus private trust conflict has risen here. What is that? Section 2H of RTI Act 2005. PMO maintains the care fund. Obviously, if it is under Prime Minister, PMO will maintain that. This is not a public authority. PMO that maintains that PM cares is not a public authority under Section 2H because it does not receive direct government funding. Neither was it established from the Act of Parliament or Constitution. You do know that, right? Prime Minister's office is an executive body that has no correlation to Constitution or Parliament whatsoever. But PMO is managing this entire fund. How and why? Okay, let's assume that this is because PM is the ex officio chairman, so this is happening. Okay, let it go. But then comes the question that there is an audit exemption. Why? Because it is structured as a private trust. It will be private because it is under PMO. It is not under Constitution or any structural unit. So it is considered a private trust rather than a constitutional or statutory fund. So it is audited by an independent private auditor that is appointed by the trustees. Who are the trustees? These ministers, again executive. Again executive, no parliament, no constitution. They will appoint a private auditor. They will come and they are exempted from mandatory audit by the CAG under Article 149. CAG has the power to audit them. Governmental sources, but then is this really a governmental source? This is being done by PMO. PMO has no place in Constitution or Parliament. So this is not even statutory. This is not even constitutional. No other relevance is there apart from the fact that this is being run by Prime Minister and a few other ministers as trustees. So CAG can obviously not audit this. Now there is a comparison between consolidated and public fund. See, money in PM Care does not flow into the Consolidated Fund of India. It is not like the money is going there, right? Or the public account of India. So it can bypass the parliamentary approval also. So any utilization that comes from there can be done on total discretion of Prime Minister solely. And even if it is not just Prime Minister, then it is these few ministers as trustees. That's all. That's all that is required. There is no parliamentary approval for expenditure that is required under Article 114 or Appropriation Bill or Consolidated Fund of India or Public Account of India. Nothing has a relevance there. Do we understand that? This is the institutional structure and the legal status of the fund. And then if there is no utilization, can we really force a utilization? And if there is a utilization, can we really audit that utilization? So people started learning that this is not that simple. We are giving money, but we're not really sure where it will be used because it is not going to a constitutional or statutory structure. It is going to a private fund. For all we know, we might be funding political agendas. We might be funding the political party elections. Anything it can be utilized for. Is there a limit to that? Can we really question it if this is the condition? And for 2 years, they didn't even give us a report. What could we have done? Nothing. We just waited for the report to come, and now finally the report has come. All we can do is create some pressure. That's all. Now the report has come, and under that, only 87 lakh rupees spent. One family spends that on constructing a home. That is the amount of money that has been spent for entire country's fund that holds so much of money. Thousands of crores of money and only 87 lakhs spent. Why? Was Assam flooding not good enough for you to spend? Was that situation not good enough for you to actually take out some money and spend it here? No? Then where are you going to spend it? These are the questions that have been asked, that have been rising consistently. So let's find out what are the issues here. What are the issues? Like why this is happening. Okay, so the first issue is that transparency and RTI. Now using government infrastructure, they use national emblem, official website, ex officio ministerial positions. They do all that, but then at the same time, they claim immunity from RTI disclosure This creates a transparency paradox. Why immunity from RTI disclosure? Because we are a private trust. This is the personal data. And as we discussed earlier in one of the articles, that RTI does not allow us to declare personal data. It doesn't force us to declare personal data. You can put it in the personal record and that will not be disclosed. This will go to personal because this is private. And you can make anything personal, right? So transparency paradox is there, but you are using governmental website, governmental positions, but then saying that this is not public. How so? Then secondly, financial utilization and opportunity cost, right? The recent audit report, as it shows that 90% of the corpus parked in FDs keeps thousands of crores idle during peacetime, raises questions of allocative efficiency also. How? Because you are not doing target-driven expenditure in public welfare, you're just making it sit idle to earn more from it, that's all. Why are you not spending on it? Because the country needs so much, right? Then fiscal federalism is there, the rooting CSR and private capital into central executive controlled funds rather than state level mechanism. This is also impacting state financial autonomy, right? They have crisis. You are rooting CSR. What is CSR? Corporate social responsibility, right? And that is going into the private capital, into central executive control funds. If it is going there, then you have entire control and states have nothing. Then accountability paradox, because executive discretion is largely present in PM CARES fund as against the legislative oversight. A balance is required there, but there is no balance in the PM CARES fund. It is completely executive and completely at the discretion of the Prime Minister and a few ministers as trustees. That's all, right? So the balancing rapid flexible crisis response that comes in against the democratic principles and CAT scrutiny is also absent. So how do we actually ensure that it is being utilized properly? However, government has not given an official statement regarding this, but the possible reasons that are being cited by different analysts is that already banks and RBI, everybody is trying to maintain a neutral stand, not to put more money into the market. And if we release this fund and spend more money, that will lead to a release of more money in the market. So the money has been put on hold to maintain the current situations, at least from the past 6 months. Why it was not spent before that, that is still a question the government has to answer, right? All we have done is raise questions, multiple questions, as you must have other questions as well, right? What possible reason do you think is there that why government is not actually using PM CARES fund? Let us know in the comment section your opinion regarding this. Why do you think this money has not been utilized? Can you do that? Yes? Okay. So before we move to our question for the day, we have a notification for you, that is ISGS Foundation course that is launching from 24th of August, from Noida classroom, that is live, English medium course, and there you'll get all the classes, books, notes, structured courses, mains test evaluation, prelims test series, current affairs questions, magazines, classes, everything under one branch, that is ISGS Foundation course that is beginning from 24th August from Noida live classroom, right? You can join that from the STIS English app or the STIS website, or you can give us a call on 87501 or visit the Noida Center as well. Okay, you can do that, but don't miss out the deadline, that is 24th of August. Clear? All right, let's solve the question on that note on PM CARES fund. How does it work? And give your answers in the comment section. If you're enjoying the session, don't forget to hit the like button before you leave, right? Yeah, show us your support and keep commenting so we know that you are watching and you're here and you are consistently being a part of our journey and allowing us to be a part of your UPSC journey as well. Solve quickly, give us your answer in the comment section. Done? All right, we'll wait for your answers in the comment section, and if you want to join us for more such current affairs discussions, you can join us at 8:30 a.m. live in our daily newspaper session discussion, where we meet at the STIS English channel at 8:30 a.m. daily, Monday to Saturday, to discuss the Hindu newspaper, PIB news analysis, as well as practice questions. Do join the session, subscribe the channel, and join the class every day. All right, that was our session for today. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.